Imagine living in a world where loyalty meant everything, and betrayal could cost you not just your life, but your honor, your family, and your place in history. Among the Vikings, one of the most feared crimes a person could commit was betrayal. These were not just raiders and warriors sailing across cold northern seas. They were part of tight-knit clans where trust meant survival. A Viking crew depended on absolute loyalty. On a longship in the middle of a violent ocean, or on a battlefield far from home, a single act of treachery could doom everyone. So when someone betrayed their clan, their leader, or their brothers in battle, the punishment was meant to be unforgettable. Viking society was built on honor, reputation, and loyalty to one's kin and leader. A warrior who fought bravely earned glory and respect, but a traitor became something far worse than an enemy. In Viking culture, dying in battle was honorable, but dying as a traitor was considered a disgrace that could stain a family's name for generations. The worst part was that punishment was not only about revenge, it was also about sending a terrifying message to everyone else. If someone even thought about betrayal, they would remember exactly what happened to the last person who tried it. One of the most infamous punishments, often associated with Viking legends, is something known as the Blood Eagle. According to Old Norse sagas, this was a brutal execution reserved for the worst traitors and enemies. The victim would be placed face down, and their back would be cut open along the spine. The ribs would then be separated outward to resemble wings, and the lungs pulled out so they appeared like feathers on the victim's back. Whether this punishment was actually performed often or exaggerated in stories is still debated by historians, but the mere idea of it shows how deeply Vikings believed that traitors deserved a terrifying fate. Even if the blood eagle was rare or symbolic, the threat of it alone was enough to spread fear. But not all punishments were that extreme. In many cases, traitors were publicly executed to humiliate them and warn others. A traitor might be tied to a wooden post or tree while the entire community gathered to watch. Sometimes they were stabbed, sometimes hanged, and sometimes left to die slowly as punishment for their betrayal. These executions were not done quietly. They were meant to be seen, remembered, and talked about. The Vikings believed that shame was just as powerful as death itself. If someone betrayed their clan during a raid, the punishment could be immediate and brutal. On the battlefield, there was no time for formal trials. Warriors who abandoned their comrades or tried to flee might be cut down by their own men before the enemy even reached them. Loyalty was not optional. It was the foundation of Viking survival. But sometimes the punishment went beyond death. A traitor could be declared an outlaw, one of the worst sentences in Viking society. Being an outlaw meant you were no longer protected by the laws of the community. Anyone could attack or kill you without facing punishment. You had no rights, no allies, and nowhere safe to go. Even your family might be forced to abandon you to protect themselves from shame or revenge. In the harsh landscapes of Scandinavia, where winter storms could freeze entire villages and food was never guaranteed, living alone as an outlaw was often a slow and miserable death. What made betrayal so serious among the Vikings was their culture of brotherhood. Warriors fought side by side, sailed together across dangerous seas, and trusted each other with their lives. On a longship carrying dozens of warriors across the open ocean, every person had a role. Some rowed, some navigated, some fought. If one man turned against the others, the entire mission could fail. Treasure could be lost, battles could be lost, and lives could be lost. That is why Viking leaders, known as jarls, had to maintain absolute authority. If a jarl allowed betrayal to go unpunished, it would signal weakness, and in the Viking world, weakness could invite rebellion or attack from rivals. Loyalty was the glue that held their society together. The sagas, ancient Norse stories passed down through generations, often describe dramatic acts of revenge against traitors. In some tales, traitors were hunted down across mountains and forests, tracked for months or even years until justice was finally delivered. These